What up, people? It's your boy, Master Chudy out here with another video. I know it's been a while, and I know I haven't been doing reviews as I should, but hopefully this week I'll get to review videos such as, comics such as Batman and the Outsiders, Red Hood and the Outlaws. Check out that new Leviathan, see where Bendis goes with that, and maybe some other things. But I'm here to touch a subject on something that's been really on my mind lately. It's been the redos, the remakes, the reboots, the little tweaks done to current popular franchises. Now, there's no problem with tweaking things a bit, but we all crave some originality. And right now, there are three. Well, let's put it to the main one. I heard that, James Bond, for the 25th James Bond movie, James Bond 25, that, Daniel Craig will probably be the last male, whatever James Bond, we're going to have a woman as as 007. Now, I don't know what to think about that. James Bond has always been a man. He's always been a British man, let me just put it out there, white. And, that doesn't bug me. I have no problem with that. I feel like that is an essentially British character, even though, Britain has changed demographically, that, so on and so forth. James Bond is James Bond, iconic, and we've had great James Bond actors, none of which, in my opinion, will ever take out the iconic face who made James Bond for like a whole decade, being Pierce Brosnan, I think, who had the face, the quintessential James Bond, but that's neither here nor there. But we see that, there was a few months back to make Idris Elba, the James Bond. I felt that that wasn't the way to go. Idris Elba doesn't need to be 007 to make a good 007 movie. They can, I can't believe I'm saying this, they can take a leaflet, an example, from the Fast franchise. Have Idris Elba be like another double agent. Because apparently in MI6, 007 is just one of many, high-ranking, best of the best agents. I remember playing GoldenEye that you had 006. So I'm thinking like, well, there might be a 003, 004, 5, all that. Give Idris Elba that, and give him his own spin-off series. You would be expanding the Bond universe without necessarily making any huge acting or actor changes. And then what do you know? You got yourself a expanded Bond universe, if we want to put it like that. But that's not the case. And Idris Elba was not, essentially picked to be 007. It was this new woman. This new woman who was saying that she's going to be 007. Or not saying she'll be 007, but will possibly be 007. Which means that she probably will be 007. Now, what I suggested for Idris Elba could easily have been applied to her. She doesn't have to be 007 to be like a new integral part of the James Bond universe. And that's not to say that we haven't had powerful women. Like the woman who, her name is escaping my mind, who's been playing M since, I guess, Pierce Brosnan, I think. Or maybe even later than that, but I know that she's playing M. She was like an iconic M character, like she was M. She was like the head of the head, and she was the boss of the boss. And I kind of felt bad when when she died in Skyfall. I felt that hit me pretty bad. But that's neither here nor there. They could do that, but this is what Hollywood is doing. Like the idea of shock value, the idea of going to remake this, we're going to reboot that, we're going to mix something this and they'll change that. What has worked, is no longer, feasible to Hollywood. They're saying, yeah, we want to be this. We will sacrifice quality to appease an audience or people who, are not into like that, who are not really into the James Bond, mythos, and do that. My dad, he loved the James Bond series. I mean, he liked them all. He watched them from the beginning from, what is it, the very first James Bond movie. It's way, 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 way before my time. It's something my dad liked, but he liked all the old ones. I know the first one I really watched, that was the old one, was like Live or Let Die. But he's watched like the Sean Connery films. He's watched the guy after that who had recently passed away. He watched the Pierce Brosnan ones. He watched the Daniel Craig ones. So I actually watched Skyfall with him in the movie. So that was a pretty good experience. But he's a big Bond fan. I don't know. He kind of doesn't do movies anymore. But I don't know what his opinion would be. But that's the thing. So yeah, that James Bond thing just represents another reboot remake. Now, yes, I started off with James Bond, but I do have Scar as my main header here. Why? Because I'm going to get into The Lion King. Because we see that The Lion King has recently, of late, been getting some mixed to the negative reviews. Now, right now on Rotten Tomatoes, it was rotten, but now I saw yesterday it was at 60%. So it's a ripe tomato at the moment, just a tomato. It's not like the top tier. It's not 100% fresh certified. It's just, on the border of rotten to like, it's barely on that rotten scale. But this is another thing. We didn't need a reboot of The Lion King. We didn't need a reboot of The Lion King. We didn't need, National Geographic looking animals engaging in sing and dance. And if you saw the clip of Hakuna Matata, that small clip that was on Jimmy Kimmel, you'll realize how it doesn't look good at all. Lacks the charm, lacks the niceties, lacks everything. Now people will be like, "Oh, bro, you hating? You're hating? Like it's for your kids?" No, incorrect. Kids today, whenever they were like, and even think about this: Lion King came out in 1994. And I had it on the VHS. Now let's fast forward 10 years later. Now in 2004, let's say, no kid was like saying, "Oh man, you know what? I'd really love a remake of The Lion King." You know, that's the thing. But you say, "Well, Judy, it was just 10 years old." Okay, let's go further 10 years on. In 2014, nobody even thought about rebooting or remaking these live Disney action movies. All of a sudden, everybody's like, "Oh no, this is for the younger generation." No, it's not. And especially in this case, it looks like they have literally borrowed every single line from the 94 one, 25 years later for 2019 for this live action, well, CGI Lion King. You even brought back James Earl Jones back. And we all know why you did, because of nostalgia. Gaining us, many of us who grew up in the 90s, who grew up with Lion King, who had the Lion King on VHS. I know I still got that VHS somewhere in my house, you know, doing that and watching that. We are at a point where we are, lacking, creativity. And we did the same thing with Little Mermaid, and for the life of me, I don't know why that movie's being made. Even before, what is it, not Halle Berry, no, Haley Berry, I think. Haley Berry is his name, not Halle Berry, Haley Berry. Even though when she was cast as Ariel, before that, I had no interest to see a Little Mermaid live action. I didn't think it didn't make sense. I was even like, why are you casting Melissa McCarthy as Ursula? Like, if you want this movie to be somewhat different as it can be for a remake, why not get some, well-to-do, well-known Broadway actors? Go dip into Broadway. No need to go into the Hollywood pool. If you want to be different, if you want to build up maybe a new pool of actors and actresses, Broadway is right there. Look who maybe won a couple of Tony Awards, and pick them up. But that's neither here nor there. That's one that that's neither here nor there. So and after that we have a Mulan remake, which is copying. Well, not copying. They've taken liberties to take out the song and music, to take out Mushu, to take out Shang. So essentially, this is supposed to be a more accurate Mulan to appeal to the Chinese audiences. What, in my opinion, is that the Chinese have already done their own live action Mulan about a decade ago. They have their own film industry. They have great movies that a Mulan is attempting to do. They've done already, and they've done better. Um, Hero, Ip Man, Once Upon a Time in China, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. If we want to go even old school, Snake in the Eagle's Grass, Drunken Master, a couple of Jet Li movies. Heck, The Forbidden Kingdom in 2008, when we finally got that Jackie Chan and Jet Li crossover that we were all expecting. I mean, it wasn't a great movie looking back in hindsight, but it was very fantastic. It was fun, just to see two of some of the great martial artists, just, be in a movie together and do their thing, and, just see some fighting and everything like that. Um, the fact that it is supposed to increase representation of Chinese, well, you know what? Let me be fair. It is a somewhat increased representation in Chinese, of Asian American in American media, But and people can disagree with me, and this is a learning experience for me. I feel like you can find that best content going and exploring Chinese films, and they're there. You can easily do that. And you can find that whatever Disney is trying to do with Mulan, you're going to find films that are made by Chinese directors from Chinese production firms, from with Chinese actors, and even in if you want to diversify, same thing with the Korean film industry. They got some good films too. Of course, Japan is Japan, and they got their things too as well. It's the same thing with Bollywood, and even going from where I'm from in Nollywood, Nigeria. People think, and people who claim to think that, oh, this elitist form of that Hollywood is the only representation of popular media. It's I mean, yes, it's popular. It's very popular. It generates billions upon billions, maybe even some trillions of revenue. Well, for the moment, billions and billions of revenue. Let me just put it like that. Of course they do, but people tend to forget that there are films that do exactly what people want them to do in the countries of their origin. And when you claim to do these movies for their sake of giving them representation, well, you are indirectly kind of saying, well, your films ain't your films from your countries. They're not going to do what we can do for you. We are your quote unquote savior for your representation, if you would please. That's just my thing. But I've mentioned all of these reboots and remakes, and what do I think, and what does it come down to that Hollywood, but specifically Disney. But let me just put it in general. Hollywood in general, they're becoming creatively bankrupt. We got reboots upon reboots. You've got some remakes upon remakes. We are now at a point where, oh man, we need some money. Hey, remember that good movie Lion King that made almost $1 billion 25 years ago? Let's do that again. Spend almost 5 times the amount and hope that this movie will also generate $1 billion. So you're remaking a product for almost 5 times the amount, hoping that you can make more. I hope you know what you're doing. Let's oh my gosh, remember Mulan that'll come out in 2020? Remember that 1998 movie? Let's remake that and do some things, and we're doing some things for the representation and everything like that. Why not? Let's do it. Creatively bankrupt. MIB Men in Black 3, well, Men in Black International. Hey, remember that franchise Men in Black that we ended pretty solidly well in 2012? Let's do that again, but with no reference of Agent K or J. Oh, yeah, and rest in peace to Tom Zorn, can't remember his name, Great Agent Zed, and Patrick O'Houlihan. Let's do that. Oh, and then Toy Story 4. Nothing against that. I heard people liked it, and I think I'd like it too when I see it. I personally thought that the movie was fantastically ended well on Toy Story 3, but I've heard people say it's a good epilogue, whatnot. Um, you know, it's getting there. Like people say the fatigue is not setting in, that there is no fatigue, but there is a fatigue. There's a fatigue of reboots, there's a fatigue of everything like that. Now, it's like Disney saw 2018 was such a successful, you know, year for these blockbusters. Um, Hotel Transylvania 3 came out. That's a pretty good franchise right there. Ready Player One was it was a very good adaptation, very original. Nobody had thought about doing a movie on that, and it was very apt for the time we're in. Um, you got the Avengers and you got Black Panther. That's pretty nice and pretty, everything like that. You also had Venom come out, which nobody done a Venom movie. before, and then you had the Meg, which was supposed to be like another Jaws type of remake. I hear that people like Crawl, which seems to be with a crocodile or alligator because it's in Florida. So but 2018 and The Incredibles 2, which I was hyped for because it was 14 years later. People really wanted to see it. So and I wanted to see it, and I really liked it. And then it's like Disney thought, wow, all of that nostalgia. Now you see, that's okay. But when you start rebooting and rebooting and rebooting and rebooting and rebooting, like I don't know if we're ever going to get like an original content, a film that will be popular with people that's original. I mean, Pixar still got some good things coming on, and people can say Frozen 2 is coming out, but you know people getting tired of everything like that. This is kind of a rantish thing. I wish I'd done this incoherent. I wish I'd done this more coherently, but it's been on my mind, and I just wanted to talk about it. You know what I mean? So So all I ask is that if you're going to reboot, if you're going to redo characters, if you're going to do everything like this, make sure that one, you find original characters who are of that type of thing you want to represent. You're not only strengthening that character, but you're giving them more exposure, which frankly some of these characters do need. And if you're going to do a movie, try your best to do some original content, cool it with these reboots and remakes and everything. But then maybe I'm being unfair. And am I being unfair? Let me know in the comments below. But once again, thank y'all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notifications. Make sure you're notified. Once again, I do these videos for you, the people, because I want to discuss, things, get your views on them, disagree with me if you like. I realize that maybe my opinion is not that much of a popular opinion, but who knows? And we all still like entertainment, and we all like watching movies, watching TV shows, reading books, reading whatever medium that we like to do. So yeah, thank y'all for watching, and I hope to have some more reviews up of comic books maybe tomorrow. Peace.